What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a live match reaction because we played early and I have some time. And also, I think post game was more interesting than the game in itself because I think post game certain things kind of were said or were not said, you can say. I think most of it, like things were not said. I think that was the issue rather than things that were being said. But we will go over what Allegri had to say about Yildiz, what Milik had to say um, as well, and just in general, the game, obviously, because we failed to beat Empoli at home in a game that we were not allowed to drop points. I think that's very obvious, especially when you play Inter next week. I think that was a big talking point. Like you play Inter next week, they have a game in hand, but you're top of the league, and you're trying to put pressure on them. Tomorrow, when they go out and they play Fiorentina away from home, that was kind of the top. You just keep putting pressure on that. Actually, we flipped the switch. The pressure is on us now. Like all the pressure is on us. I know Allegri tried to downplay it post game, and I will bring that up as well. That quote, which is becoming very. It's becoming a bit embarrassing now. Like keep hammering on fifth place and fourth place. It was funny maybe at the beginning, and it was cool, but it's not now. Like this needs to end because at the end of the day, you're coaching one of the biggest clubs in the world. You're not coaching Bologna fighting for a title. That's just what it is. So at one point you need to stop coming out with certain quotes. But that's what we're gonna talk about. Obviously, you can call in if you want. Click the link or scan the QR code, and I will bring you on. But the game in itself, I think it started off with. Let me bring it up. It started off with the starting 11, I guess. Before I get into it, I'm gonna say I don't blame Allegri for Milik being an idiot because that's on Milik. That's also not the point, because I'm gonna talk about Milik. That's not the point. When I saw that lineup and I saw he didn't play Yildiz, and I don't want to hear players need to have rest. Yildiz never plays full 90 minutes. We play once a week. I don't want to hear about rest. Inter went to Saudi Arabia, played Coppa Italia. Lautaro played. Lautaro will probably play tomorrow, and he will play again on the weekend. Don't talk to me about rest. I don't want to hear that excuse. It's utterly ridiculous when you play one game a week. I don't want to hear that. Ahead of that Inter game, you just needed to keep the good feel factor rolling. Just play the players that have been doing well lately and picking up those results ahead of a big game, like the biggest game of the season next Sunday. That's what I said. If you want to play if you want to play Milik, I get why he wants to play Milik. You play Empli at home, it should be good enough. And I'm not gonna dispute that that's not right. It should be good enough. It should be good enough to beat Empoli with 10 men, by the way, but that's a different conversation. My point was the game around the corner, Inter, I would have played Yildiz. I said that pre-game. Whatever. On Milik, he can come out and apologize, and he's right. It wasn't his intent. I guess I'm assuming that was not his intention to pick up a red card and kind of put our game in massive danger. Like that's what he did. Like kind of screw it over. However, the moment we are in as a club, you're fighting for the title. You're in a title race. You play Inter. They have a game in hand. You're trying to put pressure on them. You do that minute 18 of the game against Empoli, where you were controlling that game. You were putting them under pressure up to that point. You do that as a striker in that position of the field. I'm sorry, you do not understand the situation we're in as a club. You don't. You don't. And when he did that, I was like, you're done. Like you should not be starting games anymore this season because you do not get it. That was utterly idiotic what he did there. That tackle was needed for absolutely nothing. Like I'm still confused why he made that tackle in that position at that moment in the game. Like, it made absolutely no sense, and it tells me he's not thinking right. He doesn't have the mindset that, what, we're fighting for a title. We play Inter next week. When you see Vlahovic post game being absolutely pissed about the result, about how the game went down, I look at him, excuse me, and I can see a complete difference. I can see a player who actually understands the moment, who understands we were not allowed to drop points against a Serie B side. With all due respect, Empoli are horrible. Like, they don't have a player you'll be looking at and you're like, that's a player there. If we played Genoa today at home, they would have beaten us. We were lucky that Empoli are a terrible side. If we played a slightly better team, Genoa, who also are not world beaters, they would have won today. We were just lucky that Empoli, they're awful. Like, they're there for a reason. I don't know if they're going to go down because there are a lot of bad teams in the league. Who knows? But they're a bad side. But when I look at Vlahovic post-game and the way he was kind of held back by Pirin and Pinsoglio because he was pissed, he understands and he understood that what happened today was not allowed and could have a massive impact on the season. I don't want to talk about, Inter are missing Barella and Çalhanoğlu and they might drop points against Fiorentina. I don't care about that. We play tough games. We will drop points, but you're not allowed to drop points against Empoli. Under no circumstances. It's just not allowed. And I know a lot of excuses will come out. We have more points compared to the seasons with Allegri in 2017 or Conte, whatever. Different season. This is a pace you need to keep up with. The pace Inter is setting, it's not the pace from 10 years ago. What happened 10 years ago absolutely has no impact now. This reminded me, when I saw people saying that, this reminded me of the first season or the second season where we were started off terrible and people were bringing up the 2016 season when we lost to Sassuolo and then won like 21 games straight. That happened 10 years ago with a different, I don't want to hear those things. Today, you messed up. You messed up. As a team, as a player, Milik, he messed up. And when I said I will not start a game anymore this season, I mean it. Because he clearly doesn't understand in the moment, at kickoff, I don't think he grasped the situation we're in now. Because that's just idiotic. What he did there is stupid. Now, you can make the argument that we need to beat Empoli without Yildiz in the team and with Milik in the team. And I would agree with that. That's not the point. The point was just the moment. If we played, let's say, I don't know, if we played, name a team, Udinese away from home next week and not Inter, I would have made more peace with the fact that Yildiz didn't start. However, he's playing well. You play the kid. And actually, what's even worse, he gave him 12 minutes at the end, which is absolutely shambolic. It's ridiculous. He's the guy that's playing so well, and you give him 12 minutes. That's what you give him. That's what you give Yildiz. 12 freaking minutes. And to make matter worse, when he came on and Junior came on, I've seen comments about we were playing worse when they come on. Absolute bullshit. Because we had a good period before that goal and 5-8 minutes after that goal, and then it totally collapsed. We couldn't keep a hold of the ball. We let Empoli have the ball, and they could have done whatever they want in front of the box because there was no pressure. That's why we conceded that goal. When Yildiz and Junior came on, there was some sort of danger. Some people actually trying to take on players. And you know what? They came on and they get slated. They get slated that we were actually playing worse with those two players on. At that point, I'm like, people have been brainwashed. They have been brainwashed. Because if you went, ever since that, let's say, we scored minute 50, I think it was, from minute 60 to minute 75, we were terrible. We were terrible. Milik, Junior, and Yildiz were the only guys actually trying to take on players. It made a difference. We got not worse when they came on. Like, you're chasing a game. You need to win a game against Empoli. Even with 10 men, you need to win. And we never had an opportunity to win that game. We absolutely never had an opportunity to win that game. We should have won it. You know, you got 1-0 up. You should not concede a goal against Empoli, not even with 10 men. Not even with 10 men. So the Milik one, he's an idiot. That's on him. I wouldn't have started it because why would you start? Why would you not start your better players ahead of a big game? Like, start your best players, get it over with against Empoli, which should be the case, and then you bring on the Miliks of this world, you know, and you make the subs you want to make. But first, win that game. In this delicate moment, we are like, we don't play like, we play once a week. Why? Why are you resting your better players? In this case, Yildiz, because he is better than Yildiz than Milik at the moment. He offers more than Milik at the moment. He does, and I don't want to hear any more Milik propaganda. Play him over Vlahovic. I want to hear that bullshit anymore. The guy's in his 30s. He's a backup for us. He went to Marseille. Like, he played for those teams for a reason. He's not the main guy. He will never be the main guy. That's on Milik. But yeah, the game in itself, after we went down 10 men, I think it was just Allegri's Juve on steroids, basically. It was, that first half was pure garbage. Even with 10 men, like, we couldn't keep hold of the ball at all. We were just booting it away. The second half, we came out of that locker room good, you know, with the right mindset. And the first 10 minutes, Empoli couldn't keep hold of the ball at all. And we got that goal, and I thought we're going to push on now or control that game. And we didn't do that. And that was obviously our fault, you know. Yes, a man down. I get that. But they're not a good side, Empoli. They're just not a good side. Like, they're absolutely not good. You know, whatever Nicola's doing good, like, he's working miracles in these two games, because they have extremely low quality in that team. Like, from back to front, they do not have a lot of quality in that team. But you need to give them credit because they found a way. That goal we conceded was very easily avoidable because there was no pressure, and people are blaming Chesney. He didn't see that ball coming. Like, he could have waited another 5 seconds before he took the shot. There was no pressure, and it was for that good 5 minutes. They were bopping around that ball in front of our box, and nobody bothered to step out, you know, and put some pressure on them and, you know, kind of force them to make an error. They were just allowed to bop it around. And yeah, at one point they're going to take a shot, and he took his chance, and it was actually a great goal. And you throw away a very good opportunity because now you go to the Miazza and the pressure is on us. And I'll talk about Yildiz in a moment, but I want to bring up this one first. The pressure is on us. Like, Allegri can say this 1,000 times, and maybe, like I said at the start of the video, and people do smash the like button, hit the like button. Let's push to 50 likes. So hit that like button. But Allegri, he can say these things 1,000 times. It's boring. I'm absolutely bored of hearing these comments now. It's not funny anymore. It's not all playing mind games with Inter. It's becoming a bit embarrassing. It is. Talking about top 4, let's see where we are at the end of the season. A draw shouldn't, shake up the confidence, and we keep the positive streak alive. I don't, like, if I hear him say one more time, top 4 is the goal, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. Top 4 was the goal at the start of the season. Period. That's it. Things change mid-season. You're in title race. You're the coach of one of the biggest clubs in the world. You're on 9 million euros. I don't want to hear at this moment in time, after this result, top 4 is the goal. I don't want to hear that. Nobody, like, we shouldn't, like, I don't get why this is acceptable, by the way. What did Milan do? 2-2. I don't get why this is acceptable. Like I said, at the beginning, maybe it was funny. Putting pressure on Inter, good days. It's done now. It's February. We go to the Miazza. I don't know, how many points are we up, Inter now? 2. They have a game in hand. Let's say they win it. I'm lying. They have 2 games in hand, basically. And we're 2 points up, right? So they can go 4 points clear if they win tomorrow and their game in hand. The pressure is on. If you lose at the Miazza, it's done. It's done. And then we have a season that, yeah, you finish in top four. Woohoo! Like I'm not gonna praise that. Like that's just the bare minimum. Like top four. If you finish second, third, fourth, I couldn't care less. If you don't win, nobody's gonna remember that. I'm not gonna remember that when I'm old. I'm not gonna say remember in 2024 when we finished second. I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less. At that point, I need to see if the development is good enough individually, quality wise, that I will remember in the summer. But finishing third, second, or fourth, I couldn't care less. But the top four comments are getting old. You know, they're not funny anymore. They're a bit embarrassing as well. And it just frustrates people. It frustrates me because I know at the start of the season, top four was the goal. That's just the bare minimum. It's not an achievement to finish top four. We're not Arsenal under Wenger. Arsenal fans celebrated finishing top four. I will never do that. The moment I'm doing that, this club is absolutely dusted. Top four is just a bare minimum. We started the season, nobody should have questioned top four. You finished top four. Easy. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, top four was a goal. We're second now. Wow, what a fantastic job. Like I said, third, fourth, second, whatever. I don't care. Top four, the goal, I get it. Now you're in a title race and you go on Sunday to the Meazza and you can absolutely not lose that game. Because if you lose that game, the comments that will come out from the locker room are going to be fire. They're going to be fire. Because he's going to downplay the fact, again, that, you know what? Like, you cannot come out and say these things, in my opinion. It's just weird. Because the players believe in the title. And you come out every single week saying, top four is the goal. Even if you don't mean it, the players say opposite things, not behind your back. On the same day, you say the other things. Fans are not blind. So stop with the comments about top four. Like, we know what the goal is at this moment in time. The goal is now to fight for the title. I don't know how many points are we above fifth place. And potentially fifth place is also a Champions League spot for Italy. At this moment in time, it is, by the way. But how many points are we ahead of fifth place? I'm guessing 11, at least 12. Like, you cannot mess this up anymore. If you mess this up, you're sacked. Like, you're not going to mess up top four. Because then, at that point, you need to lose like 6-7 games at this point to finish out of the top four. I think nobody's envisioning that, that we're going to lose so many games to finish out of the top four. So I don't want to hear it. The focus is pushing for the title now. That's it. That's the only thing the focus should be on. And today, we slipped up. We slipped up. We absolutely slipped up. And even if Fiorentina do us, quote unquote, a favor, we still slipped up. Like, it doesn't change the fact that we messed up today. And the excuse of, oh, we're not going to win every single game. Nobody claimed that. But you shouldn't be not winning at home against Serie B side. That's the difference. If you do not win away to Napoli, away to Inter, I can live with that. I can live with that. Or you drop a point here and there, but not against this Empli side, not at this moment in time. You just can't. You can't. But yeah, that's the comments from Allegri on the top four. As usual, that's his way out of things post game, because that's what he usually does. Give me 1 second. People are putting in comments, but I cannot see the comments. So give me 1 second. Excuse me. I was not ignoring anyone, but the comments are not coming up for me. So give me 1 second. Let me reload it. 1 sec. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me bring up the comments. Giuseppe is saying, I'm Polish. Wait, I'm Polish, but I never wanted Milik to come to Juve. After repeating it, I was lost for words. Backups all good. Milik is not a starter. When we talked about Vlahovic's moment, his bad moment, and people were saying Milik is better, said start Milik. That was absolutely blasphemy. That was shocking. Like if anyone actually believed that Milik is better than Vlahovic, we have a massive issue. We do. If Milik was better than Vlahovic, he would have had a different career path. Forget about the injury. He would have had a different career path. He's not better than. Um, I'm not gonna talk about Colt Myers, Giuseppe. I'm sorry. Maybe next week. I'm not. I'm not in the mood to talk about transfers. We do need a midfielder, and even today, forget about 10 men. How many times did I say it? And again, if we had the money and we didn't, I did see the comments about Yildiz. I'll bring that up in a minute, Hanin. If we had any sort of fun, if in the summer comes out that we had money but we didn't make a move in January, that will be shocking, because even today it's obviously clear we lack quality in midfield. For all the hard work that McKennie does, and I respect that, he's not gonna win you a game with his feet, with his ability to play. He's just not gonna do it. Same Locatelli in that position. And obviously we changed formation a little bit in the second half, but we miss these things. Even against Salernitana, we do miss these things. I'm not blaming Allegri for the loss, but why did we rest Yildiz when we were playing once a week? Well, you're kind of blaming Allegri then for the loss. And actually, we didn't lose, but I understand where you say you lost, but it's Allegri's decision. Let me bring up the the Yildiz quote, because it's not funny. Like I don't know what to say anymore. It's just not funny. At one point, I know he does his banter stuff, but at one point it reaches a point where you're like, okay, stop it now. Like, stop it. Just read the room. You've done it I don't know how many times this season. Read the room. Skip this one. He said, yes, Yildiz did well. He did well to stay on the bench. And before that, he said, he came on. Yildiz needed a mental break because I saw him a bit relaxed. What does that even mean? Like, what does that last sentence even mean? Like, I don't get it. The way I read it was he was playing well and maybe he was getting a bit careless, so I'm benching him. I've not seen it. He's been even the last game he praised the hell out of it. He doesn't give away the ball. The way he plays football is fantastic. And then you come up with this crap just because Milik messed up. Your decision to play Milik backfired massively, and now you're trying to downplay what you said about Milik, about Yildiz, even a couple of days ago. In his presser, he talked about Yildiz, the way he plays well, he doesn't give the ball away, and because you played Milik and it didn't work, you're trying to downplay what Yildiz. Relax. What does that even mean? And I don't want to hear you don't see what happened in training, because stop that bullshit. That's absolutely a bullshit statement. I've not seen. Have anyone watched Yildiz play the last couple of weeks and came out of the games and he's like, oh, he's being careless. Time to bench him. People were telling me, or not me. Good thing they were not telling me. They were telling people on social media nobody knew Yildiz before Allegri played him. Don't say nobody. Say you. You never knew about Yildiz before Allegri played him. Because now everybody wants to make it about, Allegri put Yildiz in the team. Out of nowhere? So he was just ready that game against Frosinone. He wasn't ready the games before that. It was just like pure timing. The quality was always there. Oh, he's playing him in, week out. He has no other options. He has no other options unless he wants to play Milik, and well, that turned out to be a complete disaster as well. He doesn't have any options. That's why, it's a no-brainer to play Milik. Chiesa's out. Milik is not great, and you're trying to move on Keane to Atletico Madrid. Like, you do not have any options. Do I need to praise Allegri to play the only player he has? Like, it's getting to a ridiculous stage. The kid can play, period. You play him, he delivers. Even when he came on, he was the only guy actually beating his man. We were playing with 10 men, and before Yildiz came on, we were just putting it to the corner flag, Hopefully, Weah can beat this man. Hopefully, McKennie can whip it in. Hopefully, Kostic can whip it in, which he didn't. I forgot Kostic was playing at one point again. Yildiz was the only guy who was actually, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna play that 1-2 to the through the middle, excuse me, with Vlahovic, or I'm trying to beat my man, try to create some space for people to run into. It's just a gift. Like, he can play football, so I'm not gonna praise Allegri for playing him every single week. Like, it's like I need to praise a coach for making the logical decisions. Like, it's logical. Like, you have nobody else left. You play Yildiz because you have nobody else left. But the Yildiz one is, yeah, that quote. I hope Yildiz has a good sense of humor because I would have not accepted that if I'm being. Why is my chat not loading? I'm sorry, people. My chat is not loading. I can see comments coming in, but I cannot bring them up. Wait, one sec. And please do like the video. I cannot bring the comments up. Wait, one sec. Let me see. Here we go. I tagged you on Twitter for his explanation. Do I need to check it now? Let me check it now. Let me check what the explanation was. Oh, no, not from that account. Yeah, that's absolutely garbage. So apparently Allegri said that at Lecce, Yildiz didn't play a game. You can look up the quotes post Lecce about Yildiz. So he lied. Is he telling me he lied post Lecce game about the things he said there? Because at Lecce, Yildiz played a solid game, and Allegri came out and he praised Yildiz for playing a solid game. So he's lying. Like, he's absolutely lying again. And that being said, is Kostic playing? Did Kostic play well at Lecce? Did Kostic play well today? Like, there's no comments about Kostic poor performances. Oh, he created the most chances. Good. How did that help us today? He was anonymous. Created chances. If you look up creating chances and you look up the chances he created, you will absolutely die of laughter. Because some chances were shot from outside of the box. If you want to call that a chance, fine. We have an eye test. And he was again poor today. I wouldn't blame Allegri today because Milik did an unacceptable fault. This is how I think. I don't blame Allegri for Milik doing a stupid thing, but Milik should not be on the pitch. I do blame Allegri for that. I would have started Yildiz for Milik, but we should have won the game with Milik and Dusan, even if we didn't have even with a red card, we should have won that game against Empli today. Even with 10 men, we should be winning. We should be winning that game, and thanks LJ, appreciate that. Allegri was doing well, but recently he's going back to stubbornness. He cannot see Kostic and Miretti cannot play together. On top of that, he had Sandro to that. Actually, Alexander was okay today. He was okay today, but still, he's not going to be here. He shouldn't be playing. That's my stance on that. Miretti, he gets slated for the chance he missed, and he should be putting that away. There's no excuses, but he wasn't horrible. Like, Miretti wasn't horrible. He wasn't horrible that game. And actually, in that second half, like, we didn't have any possession, so it's very harsh to criticize a player on that first half. Like, we didn't have possession of the ball. Like, you couldn't do anything with that ball. We couldn't, like, we had no options. So, but he should have been putting that away. Miretti wins that ball back brilliantly. You know, he reads that well, and then you should be putting that away. Like, it's as simple as that. There are no excuses for it. But yeah, we failed to win, and that's what it is, I guess. You know, apparently you cannot have. If we win, you cannot have criticism. You cannot have any critique. If we lose, you cannot have any critique. If we draw, you cannot have any critique. What are fans supposed to do at this point? I don't get it. Because some people will accept no critique because they're always right. They cannot see that, you know what, there are two sides to it. Because I don't blame Allegri for Milik picking up a red card. I just said I would have not started it. we should still have won the game. But that goes back to things I said when we won the games. We win games because we've been super clinical, but we still do not create a lot of chance. We still do not put a lot of solid pressure on teams where you're like, oh my god, they're just gonna break at this moment in time. We don't. Like, most of the goals we scored are from moments that you kind of don't expect us to score. Like, look back at certain games, you were not expecting us. We're gonna score now, but we did score. We did get the goal back. So, like, certain things just are just old stuff. Um, on the bright side, doesn't play well again. Love his attitude. Yeah, he's like, Vlahovic is playing well. What I did love more was post game that he was pissed. He's playing well. Remember when he was an issue and we should be starting Milik and we should be playing Keane ahead of him? All that absolute crap. You know, he had a bad moment, but you know, if I need to resort to Keane and Milik over Vlahovic, then I just throw in the towel on the season and call it a day. You know, and just wake me up when we go again next season, if that's actually the case. But yeah. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Like the video. I'm gonna record a video with Alberto from the Juve cast, which is gonna be interesting because we disagree on quite a few things when it comes to the pressure up the pressure debate, the game, because I've seen his comments, and probably also the Inter game and just in general the title. So I'm gonna record that with him tomorrow, and I will drop that starting from Monday. On Thursday, I will have Anthony from Inter Worldwide on the channel as well. So stay tuned for that as well. And hopefully, I will have that Juve midfield versus Inter midfield out by Friday or Saturday. Depends. I need to check because it's going to be a busy week. But I'll try to squeeze that in as well. For me, it's over. I will be live again tomorrow with Milik and Norbert to hear what they have to say. And maybe with a night, sleep, I will, I don't know, calm down and see things in a different light. But I kind of refuse to believe that as well. But thanks everyone for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and I'll see you guys later tomorrow. Excuse me. Ciao.